You ever see that movie Doctor Strange?
It's very good.
You know how he has that cape that helps him out?
Yeah, the magical cape that has sentience.
Yeah. It's this magical cape, and every time he's in trouble, this magical cape comes and helps him out because he's a good dude, and the cape likes what he's doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can kind of do that for this show.
What? You could be our magical cape?
You could be our magical cape and help us keep the show going and help us grow the show. To find out how, go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Be our magical cape. He was wise.
Mark Twain.
Our greatest chef.
Our greatest living chef. Look it up, read a book. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. You know I love the ocean.
You do. You love the ocean. You just hate everything that lives in it.
Yeah, I have a love-fear of the ocean. I love the ocean in the way that people love scary movies and haunted houses.
Right.
I love the ocean. The ocean is vast and mysterious and full of terror.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. One of the things that I love the most about the ocean is just the actual, we think of the ocean as ocean, biome, single thing.
Right, yeah, but it's not.
It's not. There are a lot of different environmental variables within the ocean.
It's like saying land is a biome.
Yeah, land. You know, we live on land.
Yeah.
I survive on land. I thrive on land.
Right.
Cool. And then you get dropped in a desert,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of animals in the ocean that have adapted to these really insane conditions.
Right.
One of my favorite ones is animals that live under the ocean in really deep pressure. Many times our gravity of pressure.
So like really deep ocean creatures that, you know, the farther down, the bigger the pressure.
Yeah.
And these animals, these creatures, they're not animals. These creatures survive down there.
They're not animals, they're vegetables?
Well, I guess they are animals.
They're minerals?
Is that the fish in the
Fish is bread?
is
Fish is bread.
fish in the animal kingdom? I guess it is.
Yeah.
Kingdom is a kingdom. It's the
Yeah,
highest
yeah.
level up of the
Yes.
genus.
So a fish is definitely animal. Fish is not mammal.
right.
Fish
That's
is
what I
animal.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have this story that was sent in to us by Jarryd Dane Wilken.
Thanks, Jarryd.
I always think it's interesting when people include their middle names.
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. There's something about it that comes off kind of like ballsy and cowboy heroic.
Yeah.
Or serial killer.
Or like old money.
Yeah, there's something going on. You know what I mean? Because he's not just Jarryd Wilken. He's Jarryd Dane Wilken, and I like that.
Jarryd Dane
He
Wilken.
comes in, he sits down, he puts $1 on the bar. Bartender goes, "Who the hell are you?" He goes, "I'm Jarryd Dane Wilken. Now give me that whole bottle of whiskey."
Because Jarryd
it's the
Wilken
1800s.
was just in here.
Yeah.
What about the guys or gals that use the first initial of the first name and then the middle name and last name?
C. Thomas Howell.
C. Thomas Howell. C. Thomas Run. C. Thomas.
That's the joke that you're opening yourself up to, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But only with the C.
I have a friend.
What's your middle name?
My middle name is Ains. Ains. I know. Yeah.
Ew. Ew, lovey.
My dad actually,
Ew.
it's quite the opposite. My dad actually got it from a hard hat when he was
J.
working
Ains
construction.
Canada.
J.
See,
Ains.
that doesn't work because the J and the A.
Doesn't work.
Anyway, that's what our story is this week.
But my kid could be J. Michael Canada.
I like that.
He's Jack Michael. He could be J. Michael Canada. Anyway, what's our story?
Our story was sent in by Jarryd Dane Wilkins.
Oh, I got 20 minutes on him.
And it is about, I know you do. And this is about a robot fish that shows us how the deepest vertebrate in the sea handles the immense pressure of living as deep as it can.
Wait, we had to build a robot fish to figure it out?
Well, a robot fish definitely helped.
Okay.
I think we figured it out, and by figuring it out, we were able to build a successful robot. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was that sort of trial and error thing. So,
it's like the old question, what came first? The figuring out
the
or
fish
the
or the
robot
robot.
version? Yeah.
Sure. So here's what's up. It's called a snailfish. The snailfish lives 8 kilometers down in the ocean. 8 kilometers, of course, is 734 miles.
It's a lot of miles.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we don't do the metric system here.
No,
for a
I don't
reason.
understand it.
Yeah.
And they were looking at it and they were like, well, how much pressure is this exactly? And they say it's like an elephant standing on your thumb, which we can all picture.
Yeah. Don't let that elephant stand on your thumb. What caused that to happen?
I don't know. I love that they were thinking of how do we explain this to somebody,
right? In a way that
where
everybody gets.
Yeah, like, oh, obviously, it's like an elephant standing on your thumb.
Yeah. Why your thumb? They didn't say your elephant standing on your finger. They didn't say your elephant standing on your
finger's different
foot.
than thumb.
It feels
Foot's
like
different than thumb.
Feels like an elephant standing on your foot would be much more likely than why did you put your hand down there? And why'd you stick your thumb out?
Because it's not. Because here's the thing, Jeff. These are scientists,
Oh.
and they're not going to tell
Precision.
you that it's like an elephant standing on your foot because it's not.
Right.
It's like an elephant standing on your thumb.
All right. Well, I guess.
And I think we all understand that.
I guess I'm the weird one.
I guess you are the one that doesn't understand how to explain things to people.
Guess so.
How would you think the snailfish or any creature that lives that deep underwater has evolved to handle the pressure?
Well, do they have to be dense? Is there a density that they need in order to survive the pressure?
Density is something that I thought of. I thought of maybe perhaps some sort of an exoskeleton.
Oh, yeah. Like they evolved to build themselves an exoskeleton that they can get into and move around.
It's a bunch of fish that work together to build a power loader.
Yeah. And then
From
maybe
the
there's
movie
like
Aliens.
a flamethrower on it.
Yeah.
For under the water.
That's what it is. It's 5 fish that form together into one giant robot fish.
That's how evolution works.
And that's look it up. Read a book. It's Charles Darwin. So the snailfish gets its nickname from the way they can grip rocks with little suction cups on their belly and curl up, even though they look like regular fish.
I was going to say, I would assume a snailfish would get its name because it has a shell.
No. Jeff,
probably couldn't
you're
have a shell.
wrong.
Guess not.
You're wrong, Jeff.
Weird name. These scientists with the namings and the
Well, it's because once they curl
analogies.
up, once they use that, number one, they can use the sucker on their body, which is kind of snail-like, because they can but they also kind of curl up a little bit.
Okay.
When they do it, so it
like
looks a little snail-like.
So not exoskeleton, not density. What is the way that these fish survive at such deep, high pressure areas?
Filled with goo.
Filled with goo.
Fish is filled with goo.
Filled with goo. Did not see that coming.
No
what
one
does
did.
the goo do exactly?
So here's what's up. You would think they like snailfish. When you're looking at this, there are some animals that live deep under the ocean that have the things that we were talking about.
You're saying
they're very dense.
They're under the sea. Is that
why now?
Because you said they live.
Why now? We've been talking about undersea creatures the whole time. Why now?
Because you were saying you.
Right? Why now? When I'm about to get into something,
you said a line that was very similar to that song. Under the sea. Anyway,
but yes, it is like they're under the sea.
Okay, good. Now they.
It is better down where it's wetter.
Okay, good.
Under the sea. So there are a lot of creatures that live under the sea that have the things that we were talking about. Like they have sort of heavily armored exoskeletons, or they are very dense.
Okay. But not this one.
But not this one. They looked at the snailfish particularly because looks like a tiny, soft, floopy fish. Looks like any kind of. It looks almost like a guppy.
They didn't expect it to be able to live at this depth.
Yeah, they're like, why? What is it?
You're out of your
this?
depth, fish. Is what they said.
Turn in your badge and your fins. Keep your fins. You're gonna need them. Give me the badge. You can keep the fins because we all need our fins.
Sarge, I was just doing my job, being down here under the sea.
I don't want to hear it. We all think it's better down where it's wetter.
Take it from me!
Listen. I know what it's like. What do they got up there? A lot of sand?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we doing
this? The thread.
The snailfish doesn't look very robust. It doesn't look very armored. As a matter of fact, you can see the brain of a snailfish through its skull.
Oh wow!
It's like translucent.
That's cool.
It's a little softy, floopy goop fish.
That's what they should have called it.
That's the Latin name. But I don't want to. I mean, we have a lot of laymen listening to this, so I didn't want to.
You don't want to use the technical terms.
No, God, no.
Can you see what it's thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Exactly. That's if you can see something's brain, you know what it's thinking.
That's great.
That's why I don't go through that's why I don't go through that X-ray thing at the airport.
Yeah, you don't want them to know your thoughts.
No, because they understand that I'm a trouble.
Nah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
So it's goo.
Yeah, Jeff, it's goo.
How does the goo work?
So
Anthony?
here's what's up. The goo itself go into so here's what's up. They don't have dense muscles. They don't have dense bones, which give the snailfish buoyancy and energy. Okay. But they also lack air pockets that give the a little bit of lift to some fishes. Like some fish have little air pockets inside of them that give them extra buoyancy. But that gets squashed down to nothing if it's under that much pressure. Those fish are usually higher up.
Right.
The snailfish have this goo inside where like normally there would be air pockets. It's more buoyant than muscles and bones, but it's less compressible than air. Right. It's almost like it's like a gel insert for your shoe.
Oh, it's Dr. Scholl's.
They're gelling.
Yeah.
So this gel can be compressed, but it doesn't get compressed as much as air, and it protects the rest of the stuff that's inside the fish.
Isn't this exactly what happens, spoilers, at the end of The Abyss? Don't they like put gel in their lungs so that he can go down deeper?
Oh, so yeah, they breathe a liquid oxygen in the abyss.
Yeah.
Because
it won't compress like air would.
Yeah, it compresses less and it's more oxygen rich once like your body gets used to breathing it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot if you can. Breathe water.
Let's do that.
It's great.
So they made a robot that had the gel insert. They got a Dr. Scholl's robot?
Yeah, that's basically what they did. They 3D printed and motorized a robo snailfish.
Wow.
Which is easier than catching a real snailfish. That's the craziest thing about this. It's so deep underwater under such high pressure, and they're so rare and so small. It would cost a lot of money and be a lot of trouble to capture and transport this snailfish without damaging it.
Right.
So they said, nah. We make a fish.
We'll make a fish.
Robot goo fish.
You're saying that the scientists couldn't handle the pressure of getting a real fish, so they just made one.
Yeah, turn in your badge and your fins. You can't handle the pressure of being a fish scientist.
What did making the fish get them? Now we have robot snailfish. What does that do? Yeah,
so what they basically did was they printed and motorized this fish, and then they put a latex sleeve around the robot tail. And then they could add or subtract water as sort of an approximation of the gelatinous tissue of the fish. And what they were able to do is kind of see how the fish works, but then also see how we could use gel or gelatinous goop like this in our own machinery to make it more resistant to high pressure and high impact.
Interesting.
Yeah. We get fish goo armor. Goo armor.
You're saying that the fish that was previously under the sea, it wants to be where the people are.
Yeah, it wants to see them dancing.
Okay. I'll buy that.
That's actually not what we're saying at all.
No?
You get that, right?
I do. I just don't understand. I guess any high pressure situation where you wanted to use a robot, I feel like in this situation, it's very specific to very deep sea stuff, which I guess we would want to send down.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that we can send down submersibles deeper in this way and protect them in a much easier way than densely packing armor or something like that on. But the other thing that we can do that we learned is that putting this sort of gelatinous tissue into an undersea autonomous robot allows it to swim faster and more efficiently.
Huh.
So by putting
because it doesn't have to fight its own buoyancy.
By putting a tapered tail of this gelatinous goo onto a robot, it actually gives it a little more buoyancy. It gives it resistance to pressure, and it gives it some mass that gives it the ability to swim faster.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
goo.
Cool.
The secret to everything under the sea is goo.
I knew fish were gooey. I just didn't know the goo was so useful.
Turns out it was the goo all along.
It was the goo.
The goo was inside them all along.
I'm into this idea. I want more goo robots.
Me too. I love the idea of a gooey robot. I love the idea of a gooey robot the same way I enjoy the idea of like electronics that are made of fabric. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Google speakers that just look like they're covered in like carpet or whatever. There's something more humanizing about an undersea predator robot coming to kill me, but is gooey.
It's just soft and gooey and a little floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hardened and exoskeleton-y.
Because I do believe that some sort of undersea creature or robot will be my demise.
Yeah.
It's nice to think of it as being like a little gooey and not so cold and terrible.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I don't know if we learned a lot.
I mean, we learned something.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Do you have any ambition to do any kind of deep sea diving? Like, is that something that sparks your imagination and makes you want to do? When you saw the Abyss, did you go, oh man, that looks cool?
Oh, for sure.
Really? Because that looks fucking terrifying to me.
The thing that I really wanted to do was after or right around the same time or after he made The Abyss, James Cameron did Aliens of the Deep, which was his IMAX movie where he actually built like a submarine to go deep down enough where you could see like extremophiles in the ocean.
Goo as far as you could see.
Oh, it was all goo in IMAX and like,
whoo! 3D goo.
It seems like it's coming from all around you, filling every orifice.
Yeah.
I saw that and I immediately was like, I want to go.
Really?
In a submarine.
See, all of that stuff terrifies me. The bends terrifies me. All of that shit. I don't have any. I am definitely a person that fantasizes about going into space, which is equally as lethal as we've established many times on the show. But for some reason,
sea is just wet space.
For some reason, the sea does not have the same pull. Like I'm not mesmerized by what might be down there. As much as these creatures are fantastical and amazing, I don't care to look at them with my own eyes.
I think I want to explore both, but to me, like space is awesome because of the idea of space. But I think once we get up into space, like, well, we're going to Mars. It'll be 30 years of twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas the ocean is so densely packed with every kind of life.
That's true.
And all different kinds of terrain and all of these like, I mean, it's equally alien stuff to anything.
For sure.
And it's more guaranteed. Like, we know it's down there.
Yeah,
Whereas with space,
life.
we don't know what there is. We don't know if there's any life. We know there's some crazy shit down there. I would love to go see it. I would love to.
Huh.
Cover me in goo.
Get you gooed up.
And drop me down into a trench.
Yeah. All right. We're going to goo Anthony.
A name, a porn. Would you like to go deep sea? Would you like to explore that? We would like to know.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Are you
Twitter.
willing to goo it up and go down deep under the sea?
Would you get covered in goo or trust a gooey robot to lead you under the sea?
Would you maybe, I don't know, bring a series of percussion instruments and lead a song down there?
If so, or if not, we want to hear from you either way. On Twitter, I'm at @Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag those fish police. Unfortunately, no one's really using it since like the early to mid 90s.
What?
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Oh, well, maybe we'll bring it back.
We'll bring back fish police. Actually, just tweet at us whatever you want, but hashtag it bring back fish police.